You need to be connected with a community partner. So if Rebecca in Public Health is working with a family and she knows they need a couch, we're gonna have just a request form, like a furniture request form, and as long as she says it's cool, we're gonna hook her up and have a way to get that couch to her. We're trying to work with the faith community and other partners to, if you've got a pickup truck and I can text you, can you deliver it to a family in Monmouth? All of that is the need in the next couple of months. We'll be communicating about ways for you guys to do that, and we're gonna hack the DMV records and find everybody with a pickup truck and make you help us. That's our plan.
You said it has to be covered though, right?
It's better if it's covered. Like my truck is not covered, so we can only deliver things on days like today, which as soon as I'm done with this meeting, we're going and delivering furniture to families in need. But that's sort of the next phase. It's gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing this collection. You guys are awesome. The whole community is awesome, and we will find ways to communicate that. I wanted to give you that update. I'm going to transition to our resource centers because I've got some super awesome news to share, and it's going to, yes sir.
The DMA is having a Thanksgiving service on the 23rd, so the day before Thanksgiving. The offering is going towards beds.
Perfect. Yeah, our biggest need, you guys, you know this, is getting new beds for families because we don't take used because of the risk of bugs and such. And not only has the DMA, what Ken just said, they're going to donate money for these beds. We already had one church buy 10 brand new mattresses for us yesterday. So, but they all went out the door. Families need beds, and if you have this connection, twin beds is what we want. Twin beds. Not queen, not California king, and not your mother's waterbed. We don't want that. Twin mattresses. That's what we need. Ken, thanks for saying that also. I'm going to transition to the resource center, okay? Because I said I've got good news, and I'm not going to spoil why Patty's here. She can tell the good news on top of the good news. I'm not gonna. So the resource center that Alina mentioned before, across the street from the high school, the district graciously gave us a building. We've been there about a year, and we've had some great partners there every Thursday from 8 to 5, but closed for lunch. So long story short, we know we need to serve the community better than that. We've always wanted to be open more than one day a week, and we always wanted extended hours. So I'm here to tell you, starting next Tuesday, the resource center will be open Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 to 6, and will not be closed for lunch. Now that's enough right there that we could all clap and celebrate, but there's more. There's more. We have new partners there too. West Valley Housing, the Housing Authority, they are going to be located there now. Easter Seals Veterans Program, we'll have veteran services there now. On top of Community Action, Salvation Army, Child Care Resource and Referral, Department of Human Services, TNT Insurance, all of those places are already there providing services. But you know what else is cool? What, Brent? Let me tell you. Yesterday morning, all of these agencies got together to cross-train each other. So just because Nicole might not be there on a Tuesday from Salvation Army, well, guess what? Christina will be able to fill out that paperwork and still help the family, even though it's Salvation Army's money. There's been cross-training. I can be there, I wasn't trained, but I'll use myself as an example. I can help somebody with their housing application, their TANF application, and their SNAP application, even if the DHS person isn't there. So that's sort of our new model. We're trying it out in Monmouth Independence. There's 11 agencies sharing that space to provide services right here. And many of the staff are bilingual, bicultural. We have someone who speaks Spanish there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on the agency. So keep that in mind. Paula is there. She lives there, actually. And Paula, during partner announcements, will you talk about the potential for food in the fridge and the freezer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll let you do that part. The main thing that you need to know, we have brochures, but they're old. They only say Thursday right now. Salvation Army is printing new ones for us with all the new partners and where and how and what we do, and we'll get you that stuff as soon as they're printed. It should be less than a month. But it's about time we did this in Monmouth Independence and not have all the services just in Salem or just in Dallas. So the last partner that we're excited to talk about that is going to be at the Resource Center is OHSU. What? How are we going to do that? Cue Patty.
Thank you for the welcome this morning. I'm gonna actually read off a script provided for me, and you'll discover in the script why I'm reading off it. I will be one of the key partners. I'll be what is called faculty in residence starting in January of 2017. One of my colleagues, Julie Ward, is currently working with a variety of partners in really getting the foundation for this set up. So I want to be really careful that I attend to the details appropriately. So I'm going to read this. Beginning in January, a group of 8 OHSU Monmouth nursing students will have their 10-week clinical rotation in Monmouth Independence, part of which will be at the Resource Center. They'll be working in partnership with multiple community partners, inclusive of the ones that Brent has listed. Specifically, I want to call out Polk Community Family and Community Outreach, Northwest Human Services, Capital Dental, and West Valley Hospital. And guided and coached by their faculty and residents, which will be me at that time, starting in January. The students will change each term as they progress through a series of courses, one called Chronic Illness, one called Population Health Practice, and another called Nursing in Leadership Healthcare Delivery Systems. But for the most part, the faculty and residents, well, I'm not going to read that part. The expectation is that the students will interact with community members who drop into the Resource Center now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Our primary focus initially will be Thursdays, but we may have some flexibility to Tuesdays, to assist in assessing their needs and connect them to existing resources. And further, we'll partner on a more ongoing basis, potentially for up to a couple of months, with identified community members who might benefit from a more in-depth interaction in order to establish or return to more effective management of their own health and wellness needs. That might look like some home visits or visits with some of the members of our community that come in at whatever an appropriate meeting place might be. As nursing faculty who have spent much of our careers working in the community, not just with people when they're sick and in the hospital, we are excited for our nursing students to better understand the bigger picture of health. And we are excited to bring the great health outcomes that have been achieved using a similar service learning model already in action through OHSU at Klamath Falls, Medford, Ashland, and in some Portland neighborhoods. Between now and the new year, as I said, my colleague Julie is really working feet on the ground to get this up and running with our community partners. And then starting in January, I'll be working with the students coming through. We're a 9-month rotation school, so we won't be present in the summer, but we have some ideas. Patty will physically be there in the summer doing some evaluation and reporting work kind of internal to the process. But with students providing this face-to-face interaction will be in the fall, winter, and spring terms of each year. So that launches in January.
So let me give you guys, so that's just super awesome, Patty. It's been a fun road that we've gone down. We wrote a big giant grant to our local CCO, community care organization, got several $100,000 to make this happen. So this is awesome for Polk County, but let me give you a real practical example. So Susan, are you there?
I'm right here.
Yes, so the person that you staffed earlier who has diabetes, I think you said, and also has a need for specialized equipment,
Yes.
that would be the perfect thing that these OHSU students would grip onto and go, let's go do a home visit there. Let's help find out. Maybe she needs to get into, did you know that there's a diabetes support group at West Valley Hospital? Well, there is, and these nursing students would know about that and they would connect you to that. And they would know who Melatina was because they're gonna know all the resources and they're gonna know that she's the older adult specialist, and they would be able to make that connection, and they might even be able to case manage your client for a few months to make sure that they get connected to all the needs that they have. At the same time at the Resource Center,
Write down my name, 'cause I want
okay, you're in. At the same time at the Resource Center, they're also gonna be learning how to do an intake for somebody who might have any kind of need, because nurses deal with a lot of stuff, and it's not just health. They want to know how to connect people to resources, and they're gonna learn how to do that through this model, and then they can take that away wherever they get hired all over America, and they will have that experience. So we're stoked to have this partnership, and I need a bigger building eventually, but we're okay right now. Questions for Patty or about the OHSU nurse program? Rebecca?
Would it be anyone who walks in the door if they don't qualify for OHP, if they're an undocumented individual, would they be receiving those services? Would they be eligible, I would say?
Yeah, our eligibility is, we wanna help everybody.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing to get sort of the home visiting and maybe the case management, our idea right now is that a community partner is gonna refer. So like if you're working with someone, Rebecca, and you have a relationship with Patty, which you're going to very soon, if you guys talked about that, you're gonna get that service. We want it to be a referral from a community partner of a family or an individual that needs help, because you can help us navigate how we do that. Did that answer your question?
So how are you gonna integrate with the free clinic?
Soon as we know everything about the free clinic, when these nurses and when Patty knows all about it, that's not only just a referral, but maybe it's arranging transportation to get there. Maybe it's calling you and saying, here's what we have, what do you have for us?
And it's a great place, it's a great place to connect with people who haven't had resources. And just understand some of those chronic illnesses.
Perfect. Well, there's going to be lots of opportunity starting in January to help us shape this, and there'll be some community meetings where you can come and give input as well. So we just wanted to give you the taste today.
Yep, and Patty, I'm sure you or Julie will be attending these service integration meetings.
That's correct.
And will be able to give us updates, and we can even set aside time on the agenda to have a discussion or get input from
That's
this
great.
team, so.
And probably in these first few months prior to January, Julie will be the regular representative,
Right.
depending on the date and time and her other clinical schedules,
Yeah.
because she has the most information to
Sure.
give right now.
Great, thank you. So we're gonna move on, our last update is gonna be from Marilyn, so.
And it's very short. I just wanted to let you know that MyNet wants to be much more of a community partner than they've been up till now. Not that they haven't been a great community partner, but we want to get involved in the philanthropic end of things as well. We are going to partner with the Talmadge Health Fair in bringing in a blood mobile. They've never had a blood draw there before, and it sounds like the blood bank people will do or the Red Cross people will do some educational things in the schools or make it available to them. And the other thing we wanted to do was to have some kind of a fundraising activity, partnering with all of you, to raise some money to purchase defibrillation units for 3 identified areas that do not have them. The first area are at least 1, possibly 2 Independence police cars, because I believe they have only 1 right now. The next one is Monmouth Volunteer Hall, because there are some rather contentious meetings that go on in there once in a while, and there's no way to zap anybody back to life. And the third one is Monmouth Senior Center, who we thought would have had it by now, but they don't. Yes,
Talk to me about Monmouth Senior Center. I might be able to leverage some funds for that
thank you.
because it's older adults.
You're 2 for 2. One more, you get a star.
One more, you get cars.
I could use those.
And so what I'm doing, this won't occur until about April of next year. We're thinking in terms of a jogathon, a walkathon, something that we can get some friendly competition going between a couple of groups, maybe Monmouth and Independence Police Department, maybe all the councilors in the 2 cities against the county commissioners, something like that. And so I'm open for ideas. There was some reluctance of having the jogathon or the walkathon on the same night as the health fair, because it's already a pretty full agenda, and they don't want to have anything loaded on that would discourage or take people away from being able to get the food that's available there for free. So that's the deal. There'll be more coming about it later on, but please put on your thinking caps and help me think about how we can get to this. And I am leaving my card here saying that I am willing to partner and volunteer with something that you have going on. And Mona, if there are jobs that are going, or interns that are going to be available through CRC, MyNet will take some.
Got it. Thank you. Awesome.
Oh, man. I think we're gonna have to open now.
Yeah, see you
We'll
there.
see y'all there.
Yep. Okay, so if anyone has questions for Marilyn, she has her card and you can just follow up with her. But thanks for being here and sharing that. We're gonna move into partner announcements, and I think Emily has, you have a partner announcement?
I have a partner announcement?
I'm teasing you.
Oh.
Y'all were laughing over there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I laugh a lot, you guys, I laugh a lot.